live and on your side. You're watching WBRC Fox 6 News now.
Good afternoon and welcome into WBRC Now. I'm Claire Huddleston live in our WBRC newsroom. And we have new information about that tragic accident that happened at Mortimer Jordan High School this morning in Jefferson County. A school bus driver was killed in an accident in the parking lot before he started his bus route. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office now says the bus driver was doing his routine safety check when the bus began to roll and hit him. The victim is 58 years old, but his name is not being released right now. The bus driver was also a teacher at the school for 20 plus years. As you can imagine, this is a tragic and difficult day for so many students and staff there. That's why school was canceled today.
You know, we made sure that we met with him this morning, talked to him about the situation, offered some words of encouragement and endearment, but also letting them know that this is a time that we all stick together as a family. We lean on each other. We support the victim's family, and that we will provide some of those grief counseling services for those people tomorrow.
Classes will resume tomorrow, and of course grief counselors will be there as long as needed to help the staff and students get through this difficult time. We also have new information today. Birmingham police are looking for an attempted murder suspect. 55-year-old Tony Hillard is wanted for a shooting back in May. It happened on 13th Avenue. Police say Hillard has evaded capture for 8 months. If you know where he is, you can call Crime Stoppers and remain anonymous. Well, we have new information about a concerning trend in Jefferson County. New data shows opioid overdoses kill more people than shootings or car accidents. Lauren Jackson has more on this disturbing trend.
Opioid deaths have surpassed gun deaths in the cases that we investigate.
Opioid overdoses are now the leading cause of unnatural deaths in Jefferson County, passing car accidents and gun crime. Coroner Bill Yates says earlier this week, 6 people died from overdoses in just one day.
Of the 417 drug overdoses for 2022 that have been certified, 339 are a direct result of fentanyl.
Toxicology reports are showing fentanyl mixed with stimulants like cocaine and methamphetamine. And Yates says it doesn't take much fentanyl to be toxic, but being mixed in with these other drugs is why it's so deadly.
What's scary is you don't know what mix you're getting or what the ratio is or the potency of it. Even the illicit pills that might be marked as one type of pill, but they're really not. They're fentanyl or they're a mixture.
Yates says they're seeing deaths in all age groups, but now they're seeing more black men dying of opioid overdoses. Those numbers have been rising for the last few years.
2020, 2021, there were significant increases in that community. 2022, there's still an increase, but it's somewhat leveled off. Now, black males have surpassed white males as being the most frequent demographic to overdose on drugs in Jefferson County.
And Yates says these numbers paint a clear picture of just how much deadly fentanyl is likely in your community right now.
The overdose cases we're investigating, the percentage of those that have fentanyl in them is so high, then I think you could easily translate to what's on the street. It's a very high likelihood that it's got fentanyl in it.
Now, Yates believes there are more accidental overdoses from 2022, but they are still waiting on some of those toxicology reports. He also says so far this year, they suspect they've had 35 overdoses so far, but again, they are waiting on some of those reports to come back. Well, if you joined us today at noon, you heard Fred talking about a wind advisory in our area. That wind advisory has ended, but we are expecting some colder weather headed our way. He even used the F word for flurries, so we're going to get an update now with First Alert meteorologist Fred Hunter.
Well, it certainly was a windy and at times a stormy night, the rain pushing onto the south, and you can see the damage reports from yesterday and last night confined to South Alabama, the Northwest Florida coast, down along the Alabama Gulf Coast, but the greater damage from last night's storms yesterday afternoon really and into last night here in the Houston area from Victoria up toward Houston over toward the Sabine River, and some tornadoes reported down in southern Louisiana as well. Now the clouds have stayed with us and the rain has been pretty limited through the afternoon. However, overnight last night, we did get some winds up in Haleyville up to 30 miles per hour and an inch of rain on down into West Alabama, the Tuscaloosa, Northport area, almost of an inch of rain. And we did have some 30-plus mile per hour winds here in Coleman with almost an inch and a half of rain. Then on down into Birmingham, about the same rain amount, a little stronger winds measured here. You go over into East Alabama, the Anniston, Oxford area, only half an inch of rain, but the winds were fairly strong, but below advisory criteria. Now, even as this system departs, just enough wraparound moisture tonight and early tomorrow morning for some light rain, maybe some sprinkles, and maybe even some flurries. No travel issues are expected, but the winds have stayed up really through the afternoon and will continue to do so through the overnight and early morning hours tomorrow. So the wind chills are going to be very uncomfortable as we look at Thursday. In fact, we start off with wind chills in the 20s. The wind chills stay in the 30s, maybe low 40s. Air temperatures will only be in the 40s for high temperatures, and then even colder air arrives Thursday night into Friday morning. We'll look at some of those Friday morning lows and the forecast for the weekend just a little later.
All right, thank you, Fred. We're going to get a check on our roads right now. Let's take a look at the big map right here. Looking pretty good in the Birmingham metro area. We do have this crash down here in Tuscaloosa. It's on Highway 82 near Skyland Boulevard. I'm going to click on here and see if we can get a little bit more detail. Looks like it might be near the Walmart Sam's Club there on Skyland Boulevard. So just be mindful of that, not seeing major slowdowns, but there is that crash there. Other than that, we are looking pretty good. So of course, we'll keep an eye on it and let you know if anything changes throughout this newscast. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to tell you how people are flocking to farms in California. They're traveling from pretty far away. They want a good deal on eggs because, you know, egg prices have been soaring lately. So we're going to have more on that story coming up after the break.
First alert, we are tracking
In times like this,
we now have a tornado warning that's active.
having a way to see and hear what's happening on your phone,
The most intense part of this storm right now is tracking towards Shelby County.
that means everything.
Okay, you need to get in your safe place now. Stay there. We will let you know when this warning expires. Stay with us.
Download the First Alert Weather app today. Stay alert. Stay with the First Alert Weather Team. Mornings, they're yours. Where you start fresh, get your body moving, and tackle a new day. Our mornings are for you. Janice, Mike, Mickey, and Toy, starting early and staying with you all morning long. With more voices speaking to you where you are and getting to the point with more First Alert weather and traffic from the source you trust. Always on your side. This is Good Day, Alabama.
No matter what time you get home, WBRC Fox 6 News is always on your side.
And when you have questions, we listen and investigate for answers on 6 on your side. WBRC Fox 6 News is always on your side.
If you have plans for this weekend, we have a first alert for a wintry mix.
When you need to know next week, tomorrow, or even right now, the WBRC First Alert Weather Team is always on your side, whenever and wherever you need us. This is why we First Alert.
Welcome back. Well, what would you do to get a break on the price of eggs? People are flocking to one farm in Southern California. They're coming from pretty far away looking for a deal. You know, what we pay for eggs right now, the price has spiked more. It's the highest it's spiked in 50 years. And this has lawmakers asking the FTC to investigate possible price gouging and saying industry leaders might be taking advantage of inflation and the avian flu outbreak to harm consumers with these skyrocketing egg prices. Mike Valerio has more.
If you're waiting for egg prices to come crashing down, good luck. The prices we pay are still rising to record highs, like the eggs bound for your kitchen on this Egg-Levator.
I've seen 18 eggs for $8. You have to think about it, like, do I really need to put 3 eggs in this recipe right now?
On average, nationwide, families in December paid $4.25 for a dozen eggs. A year ago, it was $1.78.
I'm doing everything I can to put as many eggs out there for as many people possible.
Business is booming at Frank Hilliker's egg farm near San Diego. Customers come from across Southern California after leaving grocery stores empty-handed or shell-shocked by prices.
What's made it difficult is we've had to put some limits on what people can get.
Hilliker says his 23,000 birds have so far been spared from the worst avian flu outbreak to ever hit the U.S. The virus has killed tens of millions of birds since early 2022, limiting egg supply and driving up prices. Hilliker says business is a delicate balance. He aims to keep customers coming back by selling a dozen eggs, for instance, 25 cents lower than the national average.
Thank you so much.
But the pressures are growing.
Our feed is over doubled. Our packaging has doubled. Fuel's up 50%.
The key question for the year ahead.
Frank, do you see prices coming down anytime soon?
I see prices coming down a little, but I don't know exactly how much. The market's been falling.
A senior consumer food analyst with Rabobank says food prices may not deflate until 2024. Until then, the fracas over prized poultry protein will likely keep going, rolling into 2023. In Lakeview, California, I'm Mike Valerio reporting.
Of course, we will continue to follow that story for you. All right, we are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, you may have seen this post on my Facebook page about tipping. We're not talking about tipping servers, but those electronic tip amounts that you can leave when you're checking out, maybe at a to-go place. So do you think tipping is getting out of control? We're going to take a closer look at this issue when we come back.
Mornings, they're yours, where you start fresh, get your body moving, and tackle a new day. Our mornings are for you. Janice, Mike, Mickey, and Toy, starting early and staying with you all morning long. Always on your side, this is Good Day, Alabama.
When you need to know next week, tomorrow, or even right now, the WBRC First Alert Weather Team is always on your side, whenever and wherever you need us. This is why we First Alert.
No matter what time you get home, WBRC Fox 6 News is always on your side.
And when you have questions, we listen and investigate for answers on 6 on your side. WBRC Fox 6 News is always on your side.
Mornings, they're yours, where you start fresh, get your body moving, and tackle a new day. Our mornings are for you. Janice, Mike, Mickey, and Toy, starting early and staying with you all morning long, with more voices speaking to you where you are, and getting to the point with more First Alert weather and traffic from the source you trust. Always on your side. This is Good Day, Alabama.
No matter what time you get home, WBRC Fox 6 News is always on your side.
As news evolves during the day, the largest team of reporters are everywhere you are, with detailed insight on what impacts you on the 4. WBRC is always on your side.
This is your First Alert, your what's coming next, your full preparedness plan. This is your one stop for the most accurate weather from the largest and most trusted team in Central Alabama. Download your First Alert now.
All right, welcome back. So before the break, I showed you the post about tipping, asking if it's gotten out of control. And we're not talking about tipping servers and waiters, although a lot of you did weigh in on my Facebook page about this, but we're talking about the digital tipping options that are popping up at even pick-up or carry-out restaurants. So I wanted just to share a couple comments. Paul Moore says, no, it's not out of control. All servers, bartenders should be tipped minimum 15%. Rhonda Frazier says, I think tipping is good if the server has gone above and beyond to help you, but I don't think when you have a carry-out order you need to tip because no one did anything for you. I will tip a server more if they were outstanding. Francis Scott says tipping is out of control. I don't mind tipping for good service. My husband is a heavy tipper, but don't like being told I have to tip so much. I also know wait servants do not make a large salary. Now, Lori Owens brought up a good point. She says, I don't like going to a restaurant where they have a tip jar and everyone splits the tips. I want the tip I give to go to my server. I also don't leave a tip at a pickup window. And Lauren Cardin has a good point too. My issue is with the staff that are employed at a standard wage and just ringing in an order and now expecting a tip at the checkout. At a sit-down model with service, I have zero problems tipping significantly. It's with the stand-in-line and DIY restaurant model where I'm doing the drink, picking up the food, clearing my table, where I'm not sure the cashier really warrants a tip, and noting that it surely goes to the business and then split amongst the staff and tax. So those are just a few comments. I'm going to start doing that here for WBRC Now, posting about an issue, letting you weigh in and sharing some of those comments. Also, a reporter at a Fox station in Philadelphia hit the streets to find out if people there think the tipping culture is out of control.
Oh, you see them everywhere, from coffee shops to drive-thrus to just about every kind of place you can imagine. So, to tip or not to tip? That is the question.
They have options for 15, 20, 25% or other. Oh yeah, I want to tip like 50% maybe of $6, right? It's insane.
At Reading Terminal Market, you're hard-pressed to find a place without the digital tipping option.
I don't know. I sometimes feel uncomfortable because I'm just like, yeah, I just picked a few things off and now, like, it's just asking you to tip when I didn't really do anything. But
even some of the workers say this tipping trend is a bit much.
If people want to tip us, that's great. I don't like to feel like it's a forced thing or obligation.
The guys at Martin's Quality Meat say, hey, of course they tip well at a restaurant, but not at every single other place.
If I walk up to get something at one of the other vendors and it says, like, how much do you want to leave or no tip, like, you don't want to be like the jerk and say no tip, you know? But also you feel like you have to leave a tip.
Tips at restaurants grew by 25% in 2022, while gratuities at counter service places went up 16%. But Mr. Manor says this gratuity guilt is overwhelming America.
And it's what I call a true invasion, where suddenly these screens are in every establishment we encounter. They're popping up online as well for online orders. And I fear there really is no end.
Others say, come on, cheapskates, don't be Scrooge.
If I'm in and out quickly, sometimes I don't. But I don't necessarily feel pressure from it.
10% on, $100 order. It adds up.
And you've seen that?
Yeah.
That's pretty generous.
Well, yeah.
Okay, we are not telling you to tip or not to tip, especially as the mother of 2 college kids who work in the service industry sometimes. We are just telling you what's going on in this country and how this has become such a hot button issue. In Old City, Ellen Koloje, Fox 29 News.
All right, and again, if you want to weigh in on this issue, you can go to my Facebook page, Claire Huddleston, WBRC, and leave a comment there. All right, when we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to check in again with Fred Hunter. He has an update on our forecast, the cold temperatures we're going to see tomorrow morning. He even talks of the F word, flurries, so be sure to stick around.
No matter what time you get home, WBRC Fox 6 News is always on your side.
As news evolves during the day, the largest team of reporters are everywhere you are, with detailed insight on what impacts you on the 4. WBRC is always on your side.
This is your first alert, your what's coming next, your full preparedness plan. This is your one stop for the most accurate weather from the largest and most trusted team in Central Alabama. Download your first alert now. Mornings, they're yours, where you start fresh, get your body moving, and tackle a new day. Our mornings are for you. Janice, Mike, Mickey, and Toy, starting early and staying with you all morning long, and getting to the point with more first alert weather and traffic from the source you trust. This is Good Day Alabama. Scan and tell us what we can investigate for you. WBRC investigates to get you answers. Always on your side.
A first alert, we are tracking
In times like this,
we now have a tornado warning that's active.
having a way to see and hear what's happening on your phone,
The most intense part of this storm right now is tracking towards Shelby County.
that means everything.
Okay, you need to get in your safe place now. Stay there. We will let you know when this warning expires. Stay with us.
Download the First Alert Weather app today. Stay alert. Stay with the First Alert Weather Team.
If you have plans for this weekend, we have a first alert for a wintry mix.
When you need to know next week, tomorrow, or even right now, the WBRC First Alert Weather Team is always on your side, whenever and wherever you need us. This is why we First Alert.
Welcome back. We have some breaking news from Clay Elementary that I want to tell you about in Jefferson County. We just got an email from the principal saying that a parent notified the administration this morning about a weapon on campus. The administration took action and the weapon was secured. The individual believed to be responsible was taken into custody by school resource officers. The principal says that all students were safe today and the school day continued as normal. It's now a law enforcement matter, and the principal was limited with what she could release. However, she felt it was important to be upfront and transparent with parents. She said, please know we take student safety seriously, and Jeffco Ed has a zero tolerance policy when it comes to situations like this. So again, we'll continue to follow up and seek more information about that. But again, a weapon on campus at Clay Elementary in Jefferson County today was secure. And again, we'll keep you updated on that. We're going to check in now with Fred Hunter for an update on our First Alert forecast.
It certainly has been a cold, blustery, a windy Wednesday, if you will. Most of the rainfall, of course, pushing on to the south and east, but still just enough remnant moisture out there to bring us the chance for a few sprinkles as we go through your Wednesday evening, overnight, Wednesday night into tomorrow morning. In fact, we talked about the sprinkles and the clouds. There may even be, as you can see, a little bit of a light snow flurry activity, not expecting any travel problems, but then we stay in the 40s tomorrow. The winds die down, the skies begin to clear, and that leaves us with early morning lows on Friday. These are not wind chills, these are air temperatures when we will be down in the 20s. How about the rest of the week? Well, on Friday, even though we start off in the 20s, the sunshine will allow us to warm up just a bit. A fairly nice beginning to the weekend, at least, with early morning lows near freezing and afternoon highs back near normal or average for this time of year. And then yet another front approaches as we get into Saturday night and Sunday. Rain chances will be high. That system will only leave us with a few remnant showers possible on Monday, but a rapid increase in moisture and another system moving in our direction will bring us once again on Tuesday a chance for more rain and thunderstorms. So if you're going to be out, be sure you bundle up and don't be surprised if you see a few of those little sprinkles of snow overnight or early tomorrow morning. Claire?
All right. Thank you, Fred. Of course, we're going to have an update on our forecast coming up in just a few minutes on the 4. We're also going to have more on that tragic accident that happened at Mortimer Jordan High School today, and we'll have an update on the weapon at Clay Elementary in Jefferson County. So